Right, welcome back to another game of Play Action Football. My name is Brian Hafferkamp. I'm the designer and creator of Play Action Football. I talked a little bit about this schedule and the game simulator in a previous video. I thought I would put it to the test, so I've gone ahead this morning and just put together real quickly the up to or through the third game. I guess it's through the fourth game for some of these teams. So the teams that played, Dallas and New York played on Thursday night, I believe, and so that's actually included in there as well. So up until their latest game, either 4 games or 3. After tomorrow, it'll be 4, or after I guess Monday, it'll be 4 for everybody. But up until the games that they played, where they're going to be playing this game, I have the stats and the ratings for all the teams. And so you see there are several 3s in here. San Francisco, the Giants have been playing really well. Dallas, Philadelphia, those are 3s on offense. Detroit, Baltimore. So those are good, really good teams. The Texans have been playing really well on defense. The Broncos -3. Pittsburgh -3, which I don't think that's surprising to anybody. Seattle at a -3, and then a host of -2s and -1s. So I want to test and see if this model that I have is predictive. So I'm going to play week 4, and then I'll come back after this weekend and we'll compare it and see how predictive it was. We're just going to take one shot at it, input the numbers, whatever the score is, that's what we're going to use. So again, I got there's like a few different things that I'm comparing against the average of the league, and then that sort of gets me into the right place. And then there's an addition and subtraction of things that's going on based off of a particular rated offense and defense and some other things. So it's a not super complicated, but there's some moving parts to this. This is not just, hey, you got one stat that I'm leaning on. I'm actually leaning on a lot of different stats. So, all right. So first up, Dallas at New York, and Dallas is 3 and a 0. New York is a 3 and a 0. So I expect this to be a really high scoring game between the two. We'll see. It probably is going to be 12-3 or something. 38-34. All right. So the Giants take that one, 38-34. And we move on to the next game. You can see a lot of TDs through the end of the first half there for the New York Giants. For the Bengals, it's 1 -1. I typically just concern myself really with the final result and not necessarily the final score. Final scores are going to be what they are. Sometimes they hit spot on, sometimes they don't. But I'm more concerned with did it give this team enough credence to upset this team? So next game up, Cincinnati at Carolina, 24-10. Cincinnati, I think, is a real sleeper. When I look at their stats, they're just, they've lost some close games. It's just, I think within like one touchdown is the separation between all of their games, or a little bit more, 10 points or something like that. They've scored less than their opponent. So I think they're a bit of a sleeper. And so we'll see. Denver, 0 and -3. And the Jets, 0 and -2. The Jets are another one where they are a little bit of a sleeper team. I would expect them in the next few weeks to go off a little bit. So they're playing at home against Denver, and that one is 7-6. So a defensive struggle between those two teams. So Denver takes that one. Jacksonville at Houston. Houston's defense playing really well. Playing at a -3 pace at this point. So Jacksonville at Houston, 7-3, another defensive battle. as home teams and road teams have split here. Next is Minnesota at Green Bay. Minnesota, of course, playing really well, but they haven't been rated very well in this rating system. So we'll see how that continues. And it's a big game for me. They can go to 4-0 this season. They got them 35-30, losing to the Packers. Hoping that doesn't happen for real this weekend. All right, next up is the Saints and the Falcons. So 1 - 1, 0 - 1. So theoretically, the Saints should win this game. But the Falcons roll 28-10 behind Kirkwell Cousins getting it together finally. They have not looked good, the Falcons. We'll see if this is going to be a remedy for them. Philadelphia 3 - 1 and Tampa 0-0. So 52-16. Yikes. So Philly with the win. 0 - 3 for Pittsburgh. Again, we're just trying to see, is this model predictive or is it merely a fun little game? So Pittsburgh, 0 on offense, but -3 on the defense. So 24-6 as they take the Colts to the woodshed in this one. And next up is the Rams at the Bears. So Rams 0-0, Bears 0 and -2. According to this model, the Bears playing really good defense. Their offense has not been great, but they shut out the Rams 21-0 at home. And they get their, I believe, their first win of the year. Or second win of the year. First win, I believe. New England at San Francisco. 0 - 1. And of course, San Francisco, the mighty 49ers, 3 and -1. Offense playing very well. 45-10 at home against the Patriots. Again, this is just taking one shot at it. If you did it again, you get 21-17. If you do it again, you get 34-24. So, they're probably a couple of touchdowns better than the Patriots. Commanders at the Cardinals. Now, the Commanders have been playing well on offense, but doesn't look like much defense going on. But the rookie quarterback looking really sensational, Jaden Daniels. The Commanders at the Cardinals. The Cardinals have played better than this rating when you look at all their stats and stuff. 35-24. So check that one. That's gonna be a big game there. Cleveland at the Raiders. Cleveland's defense always pretty salty. Can't figure it out on offense this year, though. We'll see if they get healthy against the Raiders. The Raiders at home lose 23-14. And the spiral continues for the Raiders. The Chiefs, just a 1-0. So we'll see. Against a 0 - 2 Charger team. Chargers playing well on defense. 29-27 as the Chiefs go on the road in Los Angeles and take out the Chargers. Buffalo 1 and -2. Baltimore 3 and -1. This game of the week, I'm sure. And 35-29, if we get that, that's a classic. So 35-29. As Josh Allen goes into Baltimore, leads them to a win. Tennessee, 0 - 2. Miami, 1 - 1. Again, Miami has played better than their record shows. They get the Titans at home, and they take this one 17-14. And then the Seahawks. Let's see. The Seahawks on Monday night against the Lions. 1 and -3. I believe this one here is the Titans Dolphins is a Sunday night game. 3 -2. And that's gonna, or maybe the Bills Ravens is Sunday night, and then these two are Monday. I'm not sure. I have to look again. 1 -3 for the Seahawks. Defense playing really well. A 3 -2 for the Lions. The Lions just looking real strong. And it's an upset, 27-16. I think that's an upset there. And we'll see if the Seahawks can go on the road in Detroit and take the win. So 2, 4, 6, 8. 2, 4, 6, 8. So predicted 50-50 home and away. And we'll see if that comes to pass. Again, this is week 4 in the NFL season. And we're trying to see if this is a predictive model or not. Let's go through week 3 because we might be able to discern if it was spot on based off of our rating. So between these two weeks, we'll be able to see. If you want to cut this off now, it's fine. I'm going to go back through and do all of the week 3 games. So 0 -1, this is New England at New York. 0 -1, 0 -2. So New England at New York, 20-20, goes into overtime, 27-20. New England over the Jets, which I think the Jets won, if I'm not mistaken. So Green Bay, 2 and -1. Over Tennessee, 0 -2. 31-13. So road teams in the simulation doing well. 0 -2. And 0 -3. So the Chargers at the Steelers, 9-3. So they have the Steelers winning. I don't know. Maybe everybody in it. I don't remember. The Bears. Bears lost. I know that. So I know the final of this one. So 1-0. I don't know. Anthony Richardson looks lost to me. Then sometimes it looks like world beater. But Jonathan Taylor is just unbelievable. I mean, he's running the ball like crazy. So let's see. Bears at the Colts. 13-7. So this one is a prediction. Maybe that's what should have happened. Run it again. 14-10. 51-10. Youch. 24-10. 34-24. So most of these have the Bears winning with a pretty good defensive showing. So a little bit of an upset there as the Bears lost, I think 20-16, something like that. New York, 3 and 0. 0 and -1. Again, these predictive ones are based off of where the teams are now, except for this one. This one is accurate to where they are now. But these are all based off of what happened during this week. So it's sort of looking backward. Can we be quote unquote predictive looking backward? We'll see. 3-0 and 0 -1. 31-24. Giants over the Browns. So, and then we'll go back through and we'll see how many winners we actually picked. So, or how many winners here. We're also winners here. Philadelphia, 3 -1. New Orleans, 1 -1. 28-20. Philly with the win. This computer doesn't care about home and road for sure. So 0 -3 and 0-0 for the Bucks. 23-3. So, computer predicted that win as the Broncos get their first win of the year, I think. Houston 1 -3. And Minnesota 1 -1. Now Minnesota blew them out. What was it, 34-7 or something like that? So we'll see. 17-10. It's probably what it should have been. Vikings, I feel like they're playing a little bit over their skis, and that's good. They're starting 3-0, so I don't mind. But we'll see if they come back down to earth. 1 -1 and 1 -3. So Dolphins at the Seahawks, 31-9. Tough trip anytime. Teams from the East have to go all the way out to the West Coast. That's a tough trip. Panthers at the Raiders. This is a little bit of a toilet bowl at this point. Panthers 34-14. I believe the Panthers did get the win there. And Ravens at the Cowboys, 3 -1 and 3-0. So 45-20. The Lions, 3 -2. Arizona 1 -1. 41-17. Again, you can see, what they had here. A couple field goals, but mostly TDs and spread all the way throughout. San Francisco, 3 -1 and 0-0 for the Rams. 59-10. Kind of an anomaly. 52-7, 36-20, 45-24, 66-6. Woo, goodness. Okay, Chiefs 1-0. And the Falcons 0 -1. 28-21. The Jags at the Bills, so 0-0. 1 -2, and again, these are the ratings as of this week, 41-3. Ouch. And the Commanders at the Bengals, who won a high-scoring game. Cincinnati 1 -1. 34-27, so not quite as high, but still scored in the 30s. And still predicted the Commanders to take the win. So, now we go, let's find, let's go to the home page, and we'll go to the scores. So week 4 scores, 20-15 Dallas over New York, so that's not predictive there. And scores for week 3. Okay. So New England at the Jets, so that's a miss. And New York at Cleveland. Is that right? Okay, here it is. New York with a win. That's good. Indy over the Bears. That's a miss here. Minnesota over Houston. That's a miss. Philly over New Orleans. Hits on that. Green Bay over the Titans. That's on that. Pittsburgh against LA. So there's a win. Denver over Tampa. Yes. Carolina over the Raiders. That's a yes. Seattle over Miami. That's a yes too. Detroit over Arizona. That's a yes. Baltimore over Dallas. Also a yes. The Rams beat the 49ers, so that is a no. Kansas City over the Falcons. Buffalo over the Jags. And Washington over Cincy. So 47-10 was the score of the Buffalo and the Jaguars. We get 41-3, so pretty close, actually. That seemed like it was a lot farther off than it was. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 games. We missed on 1, 2, 3, 4. So what is that? 12 out of 16. So 12 out of 16, what is that, 75%? That's pretty good, right? So 75% winning percentage based off of how they did. This is based off of how they did, but predicting into the future. So let's see if we can hit on 75% again. Again, I'm not looking necessarily at the scores, although the scores, some of them are going to hit in and around. So the Commanders 38-33, not far away. 22-17 for the Chiefs, 28-21. So they're not hitting far away. The Rams, that was just a debacle on paper. 28-25 for the Cowboys, that was another debacle. Detroit 2013. So 24-3 for Miami, 31-9. So they're not totally predictive as far as the scores are concerned. So if that's what you're looking for, then that's not going to be this game. I don't take in enough data points and things like that for scores. The sophistication of the game engine, it's not sophisticated enough for that, because it's just looking at how many touchdowns and field goals per drive, and then it's sort of working with that. If I did touchdowns and field goals per game, now we're talking about maybe a little bit more sophistication in that, or a little more predictive modeling. So there you go. This was kind of a longish video, but just an opportunity to look and see, can this be a predictive model for the future, kind of a fun little predictive model, so that if you played out if you played this out, how predictive are the results going to be? I feel pretty good about that. That at least to this week, 3 out of every 4 teams that did win won on paper as well. So we'll see here. We're already down 1. So we missed on this one. That was 20-15. So we missed on that one. And we'll see about some of these other teams. So everybody will play tomorrow. I'm recording this on Saturday, September 28th. So we'll see on the 29th how many of these teams win. And then we'll have to wait until sometime. What's the next week? This is week 4. So Titans, Dolphins, and Seahawks, Lions. Those are both on Monday night. So, but Bills, Ravens, sort of showcase game on Sunday. And then, of course, the Thursday night game was the Cowboys and Giants. So We'll see how this goes this weekend, and we'll just kind of keep tabs on it, keep track on it every once in a while. But I did make the first 6 weeks here, so I can play those out and see how those things go. And then we can just kind of compare how things are in terms of like predictive modeling. And maybe it is. Maybe it's predictive. I don't know. It's a question I had. So I'm going to run a little research and see if we can find out. I'm happy with these results, though. I think if you can get, I think if it stays at 75%, I feel really good about that, because that's like 25% variability where anything can happen. Because one of the problems that you run into is you get games like this where 0-0 against a 0-0. No team clearly has any sort of advantage over the other, and you could flip a coin and come up with a winner. That's basically what that means, because neither team has an advantage against the other. So it's just the dice roll. So what kind of dice rolls do you get? But when you're playing a team like this, 3-0 against 3-1, you're also going to get basically a flip of the coin between those two teams. But if you play a 3-2 against a 1-1, now you're talking about a team that can dominate another team. Or if they were a 1-0 or a 0-1, you're going to get kind of a dominating performance. And every once in a while, the team that shouldn't win is going to win. And that's another part of it too, is just, again, it's sort of how do the dice rolls come up and what's going to happen when those dice rolls come up. Will the defense be enough to get you off of those touchdowns and field goals? So if you want to learn more about this game simulator, I'll put the link in the description. You can go there and check it out. Otherwise, you can purchase. Actually, I'm going to be adding this schedule plus all, like a by hand. So taking what I just did and then putting it into a dice form where you roll these dice and you get the results. I'm going to take that and then I'm going to put that into the next version of the game, which I showed that in a previous video. So you can check that out. I spend a lot of time walking through the digital version and doing just what I did, but also doing this in a way that's by hand on the tabletop with dice as well. So you can check that out. I'm not going to rehash it. Yeah, if you haven't subscribed to the channel, click on subscribe. If you like what's coming out of here, just give it a thumbs up. That's a super easy way to help out. And it helps Google to see that this is high quality content and we should be giving that to more people. So that's always helpful to do that, and just kind of an easy way for you to give back if you want to. You can also go out and purchase the game Play Action Football that this is based off of and that simulator is built for, is available. 2023 season, 2007, and the 1985 seasons. All three of those are available. You can purchase them at clarkandaddisongaming.com, clarkandaddisongaming.com. And there's also baseball games there. There's another football game. There's basketball games. So a lot of things to see and do there, and a lot of games to check out. All right, I think that's it from here. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you again next time.